I have always believed in the power of painting, especially this material on canvas. When you walk into this two-dimensional, the illusion that we create. Of course, the art is a huge field. One can enjoy reading a book, a novel about a similar issue, but in painting, it's very important because it matters what the artist can show you, what my eyes see, what my vision, how can I project something, an issue to you. You look at anyone, for example, I say to you, hey, this painting on Vietnam, this painting on Lebanon, but you look at it. It's not a documentary like a movie, it's not a photograph of a war scene, and it's not a particular battle, it's a vision of something much bigger than this, of the whole chaos, of the horror of the war. So painting is very effective, and it has no matter how, always artists and museum seem to help each other in trying to destroy that element of painting. And the role of painting is very important. There are always changes, of course, and progresses, but I strongly believe in it, and I will continue to pursue my visions of painting.
Why do you paint in a personal level? What happens when you don't paint?
A few years ago, I had to close down my studio in Atlanta and put everything in storage. So I was deprived of that space. And what happened to me, I became very depressed because I live to paint. Without painting, I cannot function. It occupies my mind, it occupies me, and there is so many images in my head that I have to project them, transmit them. This is, in depth, something inside my feeling, my emotions, my experiences, my ideas. I have to bring them out. And in my experience, I found that the best way to transmit all these feelings is into canvases, into these images that I bring out. So, whenever I am unable to paint, I am deprived of this opportunity either because of financial problem or lack of support or any. I've had many downturn of events. All of my life is ups and downs. The loss of my studio here was enormous. It was a destruction of many. And there was a repeat almost 25 years later in Atlanta. After holding so many exhibitions, more than 30 exhibitions in a city, that the museum couldn't afford to buy a single one of my work. Not only because they thought this looked like foreign expressions to them. They couldn't relate to it. So it is terribly depressing not to be able to pay. It's the worst thing. It's the worst thing that could happen to me. One important thing that happened to me. I've had many obstacles, almost continuous, but I have never stopped to paint. I have continued to do this regardless. My subjects and the theme of my painting was rejected by almost every gallery. They always consider either too political or too much about war or too much of this, or the expression was totally foreign. Later on, when the new expressionism started and the German came over here like Baselitz and Kiefer and so on and start to show, and they called it the new expressionist. This was around the time I was doing it. It was, the early 70s later on, but where I happen to be now, outside New York, and as a consequence, I stood somehow outside. But I have always stood in isolation all my life. And as I have never interrupted my work, it was a continuation, no matter whether it was a success or not. And the same thing with the subject. I will continue for the rest of my life to paint the theme of war, to bring up my response, my personal experience, my vision of how I react to the subject of human suffering, human brutality, chaos, and in general, contemporary horrors of war, a subject that many artists have treated in the past. And I don't think we are giving it, artists today, giving it sufficient importance. I think it's very important. And I would like, of course, a little bit more involvement, a little bit more reception, a little bit more reaction on the part. And this is where Venezuela and Latin America come in. I think their reaction, their support was much stronger than anywhere else that I have felt.